Ms. Hawks, please describe a situation in which you took a controversial position that angered or offended people and explain how you handled it.
For the last year and a half, I've been the president of the NAACP, and we've been doing things as usual. We had yet to move into the 20th century paperless. I believe that the environment is in trouble, so I thought, let's just do by email and not print out all this paper, as well as the cost that it gave to us. And some of the individuals were not happy with that. They wanted to get mail outs, they wanted to get minutes by paper, when we have all of this technology in front of us and we're not utilizing it. I've moved them into the technology age. We get emails about events going on. We keep them up to date on what's going on at national so that they know the issues that's before them. They get emails, they get newsletters. We form the newsletter by email. But then, of course, there are those, like some seniors, they do not have computers or access to it, but we continue to mail those out to those seniors. But I believe that that was a stand we had to take so that we could move forward in other areas. So technology can move you forward. There is opposition and change, and I was willing to take that opposition and the heat.
Ms. Hawks, thank you. Mr. Rothenberg, describe one of the more significant litigated matters that you have handled in your career.
Absolutely. When I was 24 years old, what I like to call being a baby lawyer, I had the opportunity to represent an African-American mother of 6 children who was accused of what we call theft by deception, which is in essence stealing. She was charged with stealing. And what the store did was they forged a confession on a piece of paper and turned that into the state as evidence. Now the state didn't do much checking, they just sort of took it, but they didn't realize that when the person forged her confession, they actually spelled her name wrong. So when it came to light, she was indigent, so I asked the court to allow me to have an expert witness to analyze the handwriting, and the judge said no. And the judge wanted to throw the book at her for over a $300 return deposit slip. And she looked at me and she said, I would rather go to jail for a year than admit to my children that I did something wrong. She trusted me even though I was very young and I hadn't ever tried a jury trial before. And I was scared out of my wits. But I remembered that we as trial lawyers are the defenders of people's civil liberties and freedoms. And I went in there and we tried that jury trial, and in 1 hour the jury came out with a not guilty verdict. Subsequently, we sued the store when it came out that the store had a quota for how many African American people they had to arrest. We put that store out of business, and we put some serious money in my client's pocket. And I still talk to her to this day. She calls me to check on me, check on my children, and it's just been a wonderful experience, and it's the reason why I became a lawyer.
Mr. Rothenberg, thank you. Ms. Warner, have you regularly appeared in court during the past 3 years? If so, what percentage of your court appearances were civil? What percentage were criminal?
I am Judge Mark Anthony Scott, staff attorney in Dekalb Superior Court, and I've been working with him for the past 5 years. The percentage of my time in court has been actually probably 90%, 10% being getting ready for court. Out of that 90% of being court, I have spent approximately 40% in criminal court. My responsibility as Judge Mark Anthony Scott, staff attorney, during motions calendars is to research the law and make sure that any law that is new, he's aware of that. When it comes to criminal trial calendars, it's my responsibility to make sure that the jury instructions are correct. As far as jury instructions, we get jury charges from attorneys on both sides. And believe it or not, some attorneys try to fake it when it comes to the law and make up the law themselves. And on many occasions, I have caught that, which is important. Many judges can let you know that cases are reversed many times when the jury instructions are incorrect. So it's my responsibility doing that. When it comes to the civil law, I'd probably say out of the 90% of time being in court, 50% is with civil. My responsibility in that is not only researching the law, but also communicating with pro se litigants, and not engaging in the act of law while I can't represent their interests. But it's very important to run an efficient court, and in doing that, it's my responsibility to make sure that they're directed to the right resource. I also draft jury instructions for civil calendars as well. And more importantly, it's my responsibility to make sure that Judge Scott has a clear and concise understanding of all the cases in front of him. So it's my responsibility to brief him on the facts as well as the current law. So I'd say 90% of my time is spent.
Ms. Warner, thank you.